Well, Mythic Journeys is it's a fusion of animation. We use old-style stop-motion animation combined with documentary filmmaking, traditional style. We have a real eclectic style of animation, from 3D, modern 3D, to 2D, to hand-drawn cell animation, to, of course, old-style stop-motion animation. So if you like the stuff such as Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas and that kind of style, you'll like the film. It deals with mythology, and we advocate the use of myth as a way to bridge the gap between cultures and communities and eventually generations. And we hope that we will inspire people to discover their passions and then put that passion into service to their community, to get involved and to open a dialogue with people that you maybe in the past wouldn't have spoken to.
What we like to say in the movie is that every life is a story, and that story can change the world. So, what's your story? And what are you going to do with that story? And we also want to sort of take back the definition of myth. A lot of people nowadays have this misconception in the course of history. Myths are the stories of life. And every culture, every community, every country around the world has mythology that it's passed on from generation to generation. And that's how the elders have passed on their wisdom.
As I understand it, there's some spiritual seeds to this story, Mythic Journeys, and it happened here at the Santa Fe Film Festival.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how that started.
Actually, we were here in the Santa Fe Film Festival in 2005 with our short film, Ugly on the Inside. And while we were here, we met Anna Dara of the Spiritual Cinema Circle. And we hit it off with her. She's a really great person. And she said, hey, if you ever have anything that's spiritual or enlightening or has a new consciousness feel to it, give us a call. And we thought at that time, oh, we're just filmmakers from LA. You know, we're out making fun films. We're not spiritual. Well, that all changed in 2006 when we went to the Mythic Journeys conference. And when we got back from the conference, one of the first things we did was email Anna Dara and say, you know how we said we'd never really do anything spiritual? We have something you might be interested in.
And it was actually while we were here at the conference, we were just having lunch or dinner with some people here that we met here, and they're the ones who introduced us to the people that started this whole project. So one of the things about the hero's journey or completing any kind of quest or task is returning that gift back to the community where it started. And so now we feel like we're returning back to the place where this film was born, being able to bring it back and share it with people. And since it has so much to do with art and spirituality, we went New Mexico, at Santa Fe specifically, is the perfect place for it.
This is wonderful. Now, I understand that in the film Mythic Journeys, you've got quite a lot of celebrities, Deepak Chopra, Michael Mead, Michael Beckwith, and someone very important in a very from Star Wars. You have, who is that?
Yes, we have Mark Hamill actually in our film, and when I was 7 years old and standing in line for Star Wars, I was completely taken with Luke Skywalker, and he was my dreamboat. To be able to come full circle.
I'm not jealous.
And then have Mark Hamill actually starring in our film was, I mean, it was just amazing. But besides Mark Hamill, we also have Tim Curry and Lance Henriksen, who are also very mythic actors in their own right. So we've got these three amazing actors doing the voiceover for the animation.
Can you talk a little bit about how you approached them? How did you pitch them to get them to be in your movie? You must have had a particular angle there.
Well, one nice thing about having a film like Mythic Journeys is because of the positive message and the ideals behind it, when you approach somebody and say, hey, we've got this film, this is what it's about, they tend to be drawn to it, especially artists. Filmmakers, actors, different artists like the idea that we talk about during the film. So it's much easier to approach them and say, hey, we're poor filmmakers, can you help us out and do this film? They read it, they liked the idea, and they wanted to do it. Also, one of the things that we've always said is it was through service to others. While we were volunteering, we work with an animal rescue group out of LA called the Whitney Foundation. And the Whitney Foundation, we've been with them for 15 years, working with them and volunteering, fostering homeless dogs. And through our connections there, through meeting people there, just doing service in our community, we were introduced to people that helped us introduce us to Tim Curry and Mark Hamill. And not only them, but incredible people. We have so many artists that came on board. The people who made the puppets for the stop motion, Brian and Wendy Froud. And Wendy was one of the designers who made Yoda. So we were
another Star Wars connection.
So that was great to have her on board. Don Mates and Janny Wirtz. There are so many artists that came on board and just volunteered their time because it was part of their service. You know, their passion was art, and so what they could do is give us art.
That's wonderful. Let's go back for a moment to what Anna Dara and what she created with, the spirit.
The Spiritual Cinema Circle, for those who aren't aware of it, it's a membership for a DVD club, kind of like Netflix, where you get DVDs in the mail, but they send you spiritually or enlightened
inspirational
type of material. Every month you get a new DVD with at least one feature film and then a couple of shorts as well. And they have picked up Mythic Journeys for distribution, which is great. So we were very excited to sign that contract.
It was not only great because it's a wonder. I mean, they're a wonderful company based here in Santa Fe. But the fact that we met Anna, we did an interview just like we're doing with here. So we don't know where we're going to be with you in a few years.
Exactly.
And coming back and having her, we knew then that we were going to be connected with her somehow. We didn't know how. We didn't know if we were just going to stalk her or what. But we knew there was something connected. And when we talked to her, she said, yeah, there was something about you guys that I connected to. And to bring the film back here and have her part of it now it means so much to us.
And what a marvelous way. I've heard you mention the word service, the word community. What a wonderful way to create a community through filmmakers, through storytelling. You know, it's
exactly. We have been told by many people who have seen the film that it's very inspirational to them. It's very uplifting. And we just got a phone call the other day from someone who had seen the film, bought it online on our website, and then showed it to a friend of hers who was in hospice. And that was the last thing that this woman saw was our film. And I mean, that to us as filmmakers is just, it's beyond incredible that the last thing that this woman saw was our film. And her friend said that she was able to die very peacefully because of the content of the film. And that's just, I mean, I started crying when I heard that.
And that's something that we didn't think of. Every day there's something new that happens that we didn't think of, that maybe the film touched somebody in a way that is new for us. And that makes us feel not only good as filmmakers, but incredible as human beings.
Yes.
And we hope that everybody can take that into their community. And one of the things when we talk to a lot of community charity groups and nonprofits is they spend a lot of time interviewing people or bringing people in to help. The people are there for a day and they spend a lot of resources and money training the people, and then they leave. The people just leave, and then it drains the energy from the charity. What we discovered along here is if people, first of all, before they go volunteer, discover their passion, discover what they're good at, what they enjoy doing, what feeds their soul, then when they go to these organizations and they volunteer, for us it was dogs, when we go and volunteer for dogs, you stay with that organization, you are an energy, and you infuse that group with an energy that they need. So it's a great growth.
Yeah, it also gives you as a human being, you feel like you're contributing, and you can get past some of that anger and frustration that you may feel in the world today. You know, 2 wars going on, the economy, all this stuff that's happening. But if you go out there and just volunteer and put your passion into service for others, you get back so much more in return. You really do.